Huh. So you've returned. Was once not enough to get it through the frozen pea in your head? Or did you want to try and convince me that I was wrong to break up with you? Whatever it is, you're wasting my time. I said what I said. An explanation, huh? I don't have the time or the crayons to explain this to you in a way that you can comprehend, so why don't you just turn around and walk out the door? Oh, and do let it knock some sense into you on the way out. Fine. Stay then. At least then I'll have a clown to laugh at. Really, of all the jokes in my life, you had to be the unfunniest one. You aged like milk and now you're whining to me because your privileged little glass heart couldn't take no for an answer. Don't make that face at me. You're the one that doesn't seem to be able to read the room and know when they're not welcome, which is usually the instant you walk in. You want an explanation? Fine, I'll give you one. You're honestly just too clingy. I get you trying to compensate for your completely lackluster personality, but I don't need a mindless parrot. You've got a great face for a radio and a perfect voice for silent films, but that's about all you'll be able to do with your room temperature IQ. Were you dropped on your head as an infant, or is there just a core component missing from your brain? Oh, it can totally be both. But I feel like I should give you some chance to explain your lack of a basic thought process. I'm just kind like that. So why don't you just go on and tell me how I am oh so wrong? Got nothing to say, Do you ever get disappointed with yourself over your lack of backbone and personality? Or do you just leave it to other people to get second-hand embarrassment from a non-existent sense of individualism? It's almost like you're less of a person and more of a sponge trying to soak up the interesting aspects of people's life to come across as somewhat interesting. Oh well. Too bad I could see right through that 2mm personality of yours. You're worse than I was. So naive and clueless. To how excruciating it is to have to even see you when I rolled over in the morning. I wanted to gag every time I heard that whiny voice of yours. Skara, why don't you pay attention to me? Oh, but Skara, you should spend more time with me. Reality check, I never confessed to you. You burdened me with these senseless emotions, and I relished in how easy you were to manipulate. Always so desperate for my approval and attention. You're not different than a blind devotee to a god who couldn't be bothered with your meaningless existence. You only thought it was a good idea to rely on someone who so obviously could care less about seeing you the next day. Tell me, do you honestly believe in that delusional and empty head of yours that your pathetic savior complex was ever going to make me fall for you? Oh, I just haven't been with the right person. Love will fix all my problems, especially if it comes from you. There's no way you actually believed yourself to be some exception, right? That you were special. and had some key to my locked heart or whatever bullshit you spew at me. How could I forget? Of course you believe that. You almost had me thinking like you there for a second. Had me a little concerned I would go down a brain-dead rabbit hole. Now that I've seen what it's like to be cursed, with your thought process, it's a miracle you've even lived this long. Suddenly, you don't have anything to say anymore, do you? Well then, you can finally leave now. Every part of my body has been internally screaming for some sort of freedom and relief away from you. I'd rather go blind than have to look at you for any longer than I need to. Your pathetic expression is enough to make me want to manually rip my eyes out. The fact that my ears are on the verge of splitting if I even have to listen to you breathe around me has me on the brink of insanity. And I can't go forgetting about the physically disgusted reactions I've been having to suppress from even having you in my close proximity for this long. Are you getting my point yet? I know you have so much trouble processing even the most basic words in the English dictionary, but I can only dumb myself down so much. For the first time ever, I'll be meeting you halfway in something. And if you haven't understood it yet, that's your cue to leave. And I would love to remind you again of the thing I have told you before. Do not seek me out again. Because I guess the next time I won't be that nice. Scram, I got actually important things to do.